Hey everybody, welcome back to another iiRcade Game Days. I'm your host, Michael, executive producer here at iiRcade. So, I know a lot of you in the community have noticed that we've got at least one or two gold units out there in fruition, right? They're in the market, they're technically out there right now too in people's homes. However, these are just review units or sample units for different purposes, right? We always do review units for marketing. Very, very small handful this time, of course, because gold procurement parts are very, very expensive compared to about 2 years ago now, right? So because of that, we only have a handful, very small amount of review units going out. And beyond that, we do have units that go to people like GRS, right? So GRS does our accessories, so they're helping us out there. So of course they also have a unit. The rest of you, however, they are on a boat, right? So they are getting shipped right now. So if you were in the initial pre-orders especially, you can expect them probably around the end of this month or early August. So that's about the soonest they'll get here likely. Just because it takes a little longer to get here too. Those are in a big storage container. Those aren't the same as these units entirely. So there you go on that one. And then beyond that, let's get into some other news, right? It's game days, let's talk about some games. Donut Dodo has had the update to it, so it is on Donut Dodo version 1.2.4. So go ahead and update to that version if you're looking for global leaderboards. So global leaderboards are added. These are cross-play global leaderboards as well too. So everybody competing on other platforms as well will be competing against us on iiRcade. So super excited for these things. Let's get it going. Get some high scores, right? On top of that, Donut Dodo also had in the 1.24 update, it also has a weekly high score challenge, right? So in case you're not on the actual boards, the weekly high score challenge is actually there to reset every single week. So you always have a chance to get on that board, show off your name, show off your scores, show off your skills, right? So there you go. That's the news on Donut Dodo update today. And then beyond that, let's get into one last thing, right? So we actually had, with golds, sort of being shown off a little bit now too, a little bit more than people who've seen them already in the past at CES and other expos before. So golds, actually there's one small update, sort of big at the same time too, that we've actually not talked about before too, which is actually the weight of the joysticks. So the joystick weight is actually slightly heavier now too, it's a slightly more on spring. So because of that, just keep in mind, for gold units, you will get a little bit more extra push on them for the joysticks. So we find it's a lot more comfortable for people playing this way too. This has been tested to death already too, and most people do prefer it this way. So we did go ahead and make this change already too. So anybody who's getting a gold edition, including the ones in the initial pre-orders and stuff, this change is already in there. So just keep that in mind. So it is a slightly heavier spring weight than the ones that are in the current iiRcade, right? So, and of course, if you don't like controls, you can actually swap them out in the gold editions without breaking any sort of warranty as well. So if you do feel like customizing them, feel free. And with that, let's move on to the games. So the first game we have today that released is brought to you by Bash Game Studios as well as Incredible Technologies. Of course, it's Peggle, right? So Peggle's a pretty classic game. So Peggle's actually kind of a very unique game in the sense of the controls, right? So you'll notice if you do download the game, on the instruction sheet, it only has left and right controls on the joystick. It doesn't really use any of the buttons because it doesn't need to. So Peggle is a very unique controlled game in the fact that you literally just have one joystick that does everything too. And it's only left and right. So you use the left and right to both rotate the entire axis of the arena, essentially, all the pegs that are in there, as well as actually move pegs themselves too. So very fun game too. Very like pachinko-esque if you like that kind of game especially. So if you're looking for a bouncing kind of ball that just kind of goes around and then you spin to hit the pegs in the right sort of the right sort of strategy is really what it is, right? For bonus points and things like that, that's this kind of game, right? So go ahead and pick up Peggle. It's out right now in the iiRcade store today. So Steel Force is our first game that's online today, right? So with that, it's a top-down, vertical sort of game. It's not a shoot 'em up, but it is still kind of a shooter game, right? It's an action-based sort of level game. So just like a game like Crackdown, as many of you might know too from Sega, this game is a very top-down game that you're trying to actually escape the level before time runs out, right? You're on this alien-infested world, and you're just trying to escape by all costs, right? So you work together with your friends to escape. That's it. It's a big run and gun, top-down game, tons of action for you too, cool effects, fantastic soundtrack. If you're looking for that really old-school arcade experience too from like the 80s and the 90s, this is a fantastic game to play online with buddies today. Our next game for online play today is going to be TH Strikes Back, Thunder Hoop 2, the sequel, right? So the original Thunder Hoop, this game is set 10 years past that basically, right? So in the original Thunder Hoop, you play as a kid. So breaking out and defending yourself from the Genbreaks forces, right? So Genbreaks is this genomics facility, right? I can't say genomics for some reason, genomics. Anyway, working with genes, right? So altering things, making crazy mutations, crazy creatures. So you're escaping your way again from these guys, right? So from the Genbreaks laboratory. So 10 years in the future for TH Strikes Back, but now TH is no longer a kid. TH is a full-fledged adult, as well as you can also play with your buddy too, right? So you can escape together. This game is full of crazy action-packed gameplay, and on top of just running and gunning too. In this platform, most people don't actually know you can actually jump on top of heads of enemies to kill them. So that is a thing that you can do. Tons of crazy experiments and bosses. The art style in this game is amazing, right? So this is another Galeco game from 1994. So check out TH Strikes Back Thunder Hoop 2 online with your friends today. And one more title coming up for online gameplay today is going to be Demon's World. So in Demon's World, you play as two Ghostbusters essentially, right? So they're two ghost hunters that fight off several hordes of demons and monsters and everything else too that were set loose on this world by the Demon King. Of course, why not? It's another toe-playing game from 1989. However, it's not a toe-playing shooter, right? This is a side-scrolling platformer action game. So more similar to a beat-em-up, I guess, but it is a side-scrolling action platformer. So tons of guns, tons of weapons, things like that too. And of course, tons and tons of monsters, ghouls, and ghosts for you to fight off on your way to defeat the Demon King. So have fun with this one. Join your friends today. It's online right now.
Hey guys, it's Liv coming at you from our iiRcade headquarters, and today's game spotlight is Knights and Guns. You may have seen me highlight this game recently on our social media, and honestly, it's because it's so much fun. This game basically answers the question of what if you gave a medieval knight a gun? And it's your pretty classic revenge story, except it's set in a world that combines those medieval fantasy elements with modern technology, namely the firepower, hence the name. You battle armies of undead mutants, aliens, machines, beasts, etc., all in order to bring peace back to the land. And then along with that, you can also search for the history of the kingdom itself. What I like about this game is that you have options. It's got about 150 handcrafted stages to explore. You can fight, or you can search for the secrets and special routes. There are tons of suits of armor to choose from, along with obviously tons of guns, shotguns, grenade launchers, lasers, you name it. There are traps, chests, keys, scrolls of lore. It's a really interesting game, and it gives the player a ton of flexibility, so you're never going to be bored. So go ahead, hop on over to the iiRcade store and check it out.
Alright, so there you have it, your iiRcade Gamedaze news for today. Happy Friday, everybody. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy some Peggle, our brand new game on the store, as well as those 3 online games like we talked about. We got Demon's World in case you want to jump online with your buddies, play some, kill off some demons, kill off some ghouls and ghosts, things like that. You've also got Steel Force in case you're looking to escape that alien base, navigate your way through the twisting corridors, blow some stuff up, don't get blown up yourself, right? And then, of course, TH Strikes Back, Thunder Hoop 2 plays a genetically altered, basically, version of Goku and just destroy everything. There's some grotesque, cool monsters in that game, too. Great level design, great game design, too. It's a good time, and, of course, always best enjoyed with a friend online, right? So, Online Alpha is still going strong right now, too. Still releasing more games every single week with that. Next week, we'll probably actually be back to a full live event as well. So don't hold me to that, but it's probably going to happen for sure next week. And in that case, we will have a full live Q&A and all that stuff like we normally do. And then until then, I'll see you next week, right? So have fun. Enjoy the weekend. Have a good time.